This is one fun-looking, interesting, and emotional anime-looking Wii game about doctors I've ever seen. I first found out about this game when I was scrolling through a playlist on YouTube. It was a video of a muscular man getting examined. So then I looked it up and just typed up the game's Japanese name called Hospital. But then I realized it was actually called Trauma Team. So then I began watching a few videos of Trauma Team. The first video I watched was a lady named Shelly getting examined by Gabriel Cunningham with the help of Roni for her erupt stomach problems. Then I saw a video about Joshua Cunningham, Gabe's son. When I first saw him crying and letting his tears fall about his lies, I felt so sorry and emotional for him. I was like pretty much down the whole night. But it also made me like Joshua and his preciousness. So much that I felt like wanting to make a TV show based off of Trauma Team. I call it Random Tales. Now, to talk about Gabriel Cunningham. Gabe. That sarcastic agnostic. He's almost about to be as sarcastic as Vince the Voodoo Doll. Oh, and by the way, about Vince, this may be off topic, but did you guys know that they made a remastered version of the original Voodoo Vince game from 2003? If you do, let me know in the comments below. Anyway, Gabe has a computer assistant named Roni, or the Roni system. She reminds me of Siri for some reason. Maybe it's because the voices sound similar. Ever since I've learned those videos about Siri getting possessed at 3 a.m., I imagined Roni getting possessed at 3 a.m. Think about it. Imagine Roni saying something like, "New symptom observed. Be prepared to die." It's morbid, I know, but just think about it. Now let's get to talking about Maria Torres. That paramedic is hot-blooded and hot-headed. And hard-headed, too. She has a tendency to call people insults like idiot, moron, and even prick. But she doesn't mean those in harm, though. I feel like she would call me those names, too, if I was in Resercom First Care, even if I was autistic. She's especially hard-headed with Gabe. One part, she said that he was an absolute disgrace when he didn't want to go into the room to help his son. I got very emotional when I saw Gabe tear up his whole room, and even cracked up Roni. I got so emotional my cheeks turned pink. Blushing, flushing pink. And I think my cheeks will be flushing too when Lori goes off to college, like how I said in my Loud House video. I was also blushing pink when Maria didn't believe what Hank said about being in vain. And in Hank's story too. Now let's get talking about Hank. This man, Hank Freebird, the doctor who is also a superhero named Captain Eagle. When I first saw him as Captain Eagle, I made a joke saying that this is the Trauma Team version of The Incredibles. Then later on, watching Hank's story, he was a very peaceful man with the biggest heart on the planet. I honestly have to agree with Gabe when he said, "Your heart's just too damn big, damn it." I can't really pull that off, can't I? Anyway, let's talk about Tomoe now. Tomoe Tachibana, the endoscopic surgeon, whose, I think, catchphrase is the path of honor. I don't know if it is, I just think so. Her hometown is Japan, and her father, for some reason, wants someone to marry her. Oh, and about her, I think catchphrase, I imagine a little scene with Tomoe and Bowser in it. Actually, 2 scenes. Here. You know, that's not really against the path of honor. I know, just shut up. And here's this one. That is definitely against the path of honor. All right, I get it. You've said that crud over the years. It's like you use that as your senior quote or something. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, let's get to another one of my favorites, Naomi Kimishima. Naomi, I gotta say, is also like a no-nonsense, no silliness, no monkey business person. Like Urza when she was introduced in Fairy Tail. Although, I don't think Naomi has time for dorkiness, monkey business, nonsense, goofiness, or even goofing off, or even horsing around or messing around. To be honest, just between you and me, being serious isn't really my thing. It's really not. I'm more of a goofy clown person than a serious one. Although I can picture Naomi in some funny moments in Random Tales. I even thought of a scene where time stops and then Naomi imagines that everything has been frozen. I also thought of the first part of the Random Tales episode, Alyssa the Copycat. That's where Alyssa copies Naomi and does everything she does. I may or may not think of putting some Hanna-Barbera sound effects in Random Tales when I become an animator. Now I know and assume that some of you might tell me that in the comments that Trauma Team is a video game, not a cartoon. And I say, in my opinion, that that's like saying a cell phone is a privilege, not a right. Anyway, let's get to talking about this guy, CRS-01, or Erhard Miller. Yes, you heard that right. His real name's Erhard Miller. I found that out when I was reading the wiki website. Anyway, when I see Erhard, he sounds like he knows a lot about our bodies and our organs and stuff. I bet if I was in Resurgam First Care, he could tell me a few things about autism, and about the symptoms too, especially repetitive behavior. One time I pictured some funny moments of this guy in Random Tales. I even picture him screaming like a girl, or him having a fear of something, because everybody's got a fear of something, even doctors at a hospital. You know, everything about the game Trauma Team makes this game seem real, because stuff like that really does happen. When I replace my Wii and get this game, I want to see how emotional this game really is. Thank you for taking the time to watch this.